What is going on, Wildlife X team? This is Michael here, and in today's video, we are going to be going over some tips on how to camp safely. Spring is finally here, and so we hope you guys get out in nature, you enjoy the beautiful views, you enjoy the beautiful earth. However, camping can be dangerous sometimes, and so that you avoid injury or harm, we're going to be giving you some tips on how to camp safely and effectively. Enjoy. So before you go camping, you should research the destination that you think you're going to be going in. It's very important that you know the type of wildlife animals, the weather, how far away you're going to be from support, whether or not you're going to have a phone connection. These are all very important things, and these are going to be unique to your situation. We can't give you specific animal tips or too specific environmental tips because you need to do that research on your own. Every location is going to be different. Some are going to have issues with bears, others might have issues with different plants and what's not. That could be potentially poisonous, or like poison ivy, if you just rub by it, it gets your skin all itchy and whatnot. So research the destination that you're going to be camping at and make sure you know about the wildlife animals. That is going to be very important, is what type of wildlife animals could you come across? Are there going to be skunks, bears, whatever? Research the weather. Is it going to be very hot? Is it going to be very cold? Prepare accordingly. And then also research how far away you're going to be from a satellite connection, from internet or whatever, or if you're going to have good access to that. Make sure to bring lots of batteries, of course, but it's very imperative that you know if you will be able to call for help if you need it, or if you're going to be out there for a long time, maybe you need a satellite phone, or you should just plan accordingly. Be very, very safe and know what you're getting into. So first off, make sure to bring lots of food and water. This is, it sounds very basic to be saying this, but a lot of people take it for granted just how quickly you can go through supplies. It's estimated that you should bring 1.5 to 2 times the amount of supplies that you think you might need. It's always better to have more food than less food. Maybe you'll get hungry, you'll need a snack because, in our modern societies, we drive around a lot. We don't spend a lot of time walking. We don't spend a lot of time doing physical activity. Even if you think you're physically athletic, it's always better to bring more supplies than you think you'll need, because when you're out camping in nature, you're probably not going to be driving around and having a lot of technology to assist you. You're going to be living much more like a natural human, and the truth is, most humans, myself included, are just not strong enough to be able to handle very, very long durations of time in nature, because it gets exhausting and you need food. You need to be well equipped for this. A lot of people they just don't expect how quickly you can go through energy. So have lots of food and water, and also bring a first aid kit. This is very important as well. Bring any medications you might need, maybe some painkillers and anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen, ibuprofen or Tylenol, acetaminophen, something like that. Keep in mind that acetaminophen is a painkiller, for example, whereas ibuprofen would be an anti-inflammatory. So of course, research your medications and whatnot. I won't go too deep into that, but bring a first aid kit, bring some anti-inflammatories in case anything happens. And so that way, if you sprain your ankle or if you get a cut, you're able to clean up the wound and fix it up, because with lots of trees and plants and uneven terrains, it's very easy to fall down, sprain an ankle, cut yourself, break an arm. So be very, very safe and be prepared for these injuries as well. Bring lots of food and water, but also bring enough supplies if anything like an injury were to happen. Again, this goes back into researching the particular area. Know if it's going to have lots of huge cliffs and jumps or potential mudslides. What type of issues are you potentially getting into? And bring a first aid kit, but also bring supplies that kind of mimic the potential issues that you could be coming across. Our next tip is to not venture too far out alone if you're going with a group. So if you're with a group in the middle of nowhere, be very, very careful about just going off to somewhere random on your own, unless you have a GPS, and always be within earshot of another person. So you should be able to yell, and they should be able to yell back, and you should be able to find your way back. But it's always best to go with a partner, because if you leave, even if you're within earshot, so you would be able to yell for help. Let's say you fall down, you hit your head, you get a concussion. Maybe you're knocked out for a little while, and this could be very, very dangerous if you're near water or whatever. So it's very important to have someone with you in case you get knocked out. We think we're invincible humans and whatnot, but things like this definitely happen, where you're walking around. And again, this goes back into us humans not being adapted for our natural, or for natural wildlife environments, because we're used to having shoes, walking on cement and very flat surfaces. So when we go into nature and it's very uneven, it's very easy to slip, hit your head, fall down. And if you get knocked out, that's going to be very, very bad, and you need someone with you to be able to take care of you, and that should also know the basics of first aid and whatnot. So piggybacking off of that, if you are going alone, or even if you're with a group, no matter if you have cellular connection or if you're going in the middle of nowhere, somebody that's not going camping with you guys should know where you guys are going, what you're going to be doing, and when you plan on coming back. So these people that are not camping with you, if they don't hear from you by a certain time and day, then they know that something could potentially be wrong. They'll try to reach out to you, and if they still get no response from you, they can call authorities. This is very, very huge for hiking, camping, any type of outdoor activity. It's great going with a group, but what if the whole group gets lost? It's very important to have someone on the outside that's in an urban environment that can contact the police. They should know where you're going, what you're doing, and when you should contact them by. So that way, if you don't contact them, like let's say your group gets lost, probably not gonna happen, you're probably gonna be safe. But worst case scenario, let's say the whole group gets lost, or you guys start getting sick, something happens. Well, if you don't contact these people on the outside within a certain period of time, then they know something's wrong, they can get the authorities, they can get support, and they can come in and find you guys and help you. So always make sure that someone that isn't going camping with you guys knows where you're going, what you're doing, and when you will be back by. Our next tip is to carry a GPS if possible. Now, you should also be researching if you have a cellular connection and whether or not you'll be able to use a phone. But the cool thing about most phones is actually the GPS is separate of mobile data. So if you have a very recent iPhone or Android, it's very, very likely that your GPS is going to be active no matter where you are in the world. So even if you're in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, there's no cellular connection for dozens and dozens of miles, your GPS will probably still work. This depends on your phone. So research your own phone and make sure that you actually have a separate, effective GPS that is going to work even if you don't have cellular connection. But for many, many phones, they're going to have a built-in GPS system. I know my phone has that. I have a Chinese phone called the Honor 8. And so sometimes when I'm out and I don't even have cellular connection, like let's say I'm going hiking, I can still pull up my phone. Now I won't be able to use Google Maps to find directions, but I can pull up Google Maps and I can find out where I am in the world, because it's just going to show my location. Then you can turn the thing around and you can walk around and see where that little dot is going, and you can find your way back. Now again, research this, because I don't know how effective my phone would be dozens of miles away from a cellular connection, but I do know that if I'm a few miles away from a cellular connection, I'm still able to have an effective working GPS. So you should research your phone, make sure you have a working GPS, hopefully your phone has it, bring extra batteries, make sure you're gonna have lots of power with that, potentially a waterproof bag so that way your phone can handle the elements. I know from my phone, if it's cold outside below 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, as soon as it hits 40% battery, it could just randomly die because cold drains electronics batteries like crazy. So it's very, very important. Bring an extra charger, have a waterproof bag so that way you can use your GPS system. And if you don't have a GPS and you're going to be going significantly far away from any clear landmarks to find yourself back, you should get a GPS. You should be very, very safe and know exactly where you are in the world. So if you get lost and you can't figure out, oh, where the heck do I go? You're going to be able to turn the GPS on, start walking around, and then find your way back. Our last and final tip is to be careful interacting with nature itself. What do I mean by that? I mean, don't eat berries. You should know all about the plants, so don't go around eating berries. Be careful with making fires, research how to make a proper fire. Just be careful with doing different things in the wild, like climbing trees, eating berries, making fires, all of these things that you could potentially do in nature and which are very, very fun while camping. You should have a book on it, you should be well educated, or you should have someone that's well educated and very confident, and you should know what you're getting into. So if you're eating berries or you want to go source random berries like that, you should be well well knowledgeable about the area, what types of berries are there, which berries are poisonous, which berries are healthy to eat. And for the poisonous berries or potential dangers that you might come across, you should have harm reduction things with you. So if there's an issue, like if you want to go eating berries, for example, and you see, okay, 99% of the berries are safe, but there is this one type of plant that looks like all the other plants, which has unsafe poisonous berries, you should research what to do in the event of eating this poisonous berry, so that way you know what to do. So again, this just goes back on being well educated in your area, making sure you know what you're doing, especially with fires. It's very easy to start a wildlife fire. For example, if you put the fire out, even if there's like a tiny bit of ash still burning, that actually can turn into a huge forest fire. It's crazy how fire can just expand very rapidly. So be safe and just research your area, and don't do anything unless you're extremely confident you know what you're doing. So if you are trained in climbing trees and you have the right gear and you have a first aid kit in case you fall and get a concussion or sprain an ankle or break an arm, you should be prepared for that, and you shouldn't be doing these dangerous things unless you have someone with you, you're prepared, and you're going to be able to receive support in the worst case scenario. So that's it for the video. We really hope you guys enjoyed it and you learned a few things on how you can camp safely and effectively. Spring is finally here and summer is around the corner, so get out, get in nature, have some fun with your friends, and of course be safe. Being safe is just going to make it more fun, so have a fantastic spring and summer. Let's make this a great, safe 2018. My name is Michael with Wildlife X Team. Leave a thumbs up, please, and if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below. We'll see you later.